Good morning and welcome to another pre-market review session with the Market Trader. My name is Ray, the Market Trader. And before we get started here, guys, we'll need to go through our risk disclosure. So we'll go ahead and do that. So just want to remind everyone that the content that's being published and distributed by the Market Trader and its affiliates is to be treated as general information only. None of the information provided by the company or contained herein is intended as investment advice. An offer to buy, sell, recommend, endorse, sponsor any security, company, or fund. We all understand that the use of this information contained herein is to be used at your own risk, and the company, its partners, representatives, agents, employees, and contractors assume no responsibility or liability for any use or misuse of such information. We all understand that future trading does carry a fair amount of risk and is not for every investor. An investor could potentially lose all or more of their investment capital. Only risk capital money that can be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security or lifestyle should be used for trading, and only those individuals with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. Again, nothing contained herein is a solicitation or an offer to buy, sell futures, options, or forex, and past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Good morning, Alejandro. All right, let's go ahead and move on here. Good morning, Aslan, others, Faye. Good morning. I'm doing well. a little late, a little tardy today, but doing okay. All right, let's go ahead now, and now that we have kind of a view of the risk here, let's go ahead and turn our attention to our let's see here, news portal. Okay. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's see. Let's go ahead and find our news portal. Here it is. We're going to go ahead and open. Okay. All right. So hopefully you guys can see my screen here. But in any case, black screen. All right, let's do this one more time. I don't know why it is. Something about the news portal that it just doesn't like. All right, we'll do it one more time here. Hopefully that came through. All right. Okay, so perfect. Thank you, Aslan. All right, so again, we continue our march through the various earnings of various. So we have AT&T reporting earnings today. We have EIA crude oil inventories reporting today. We have some information around the 20-year bond reporting today, and then we have a meeting here later this afternoon around I guess right around the time of closing. We have Trump meeting with the NATO Security General, and then some anticipated news here. One I'm going to be particularly watching is this Tesla earnings. We have after the bell here. Okay, so we have IBM, Tesla, and SAP reporting after the bell. So not really, I would say, not really anything too far with respect to news here. I guess the biggest news event is probably for those who trade crude oil, the EIA. EIA is obviously the one that's probably the biggest news and has the greatest potential of impacting the crude oil market. Okay. All right. So now that we've gotten through the news here, guys. Oh, okay. All right, Faye. I'll keep that in mind. All right. Let's go ahead and move on to the markets here. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and make sure I have my portal up. All right. Let's make sure that our, let's see here. All right, here we are. Okay, we'll just pause here. We'll pause here for a few seconds here and make sure that you guys are able to see my screen. Okay. Hopefully. Okay, perfect. All right. Let's go ahead and take a look at what the market is offering us today. Let's see. We're going to go ahead and start off with the gold market. Yes, smash that like button. I like where you're going. I like where you're going, Mike. All right. So in any case, guys, I actually got involved in a long trade actually last night and was actually quite profitable. But I'm seeing here that there's a little bit of indication that maybe there is something that's impacting maybe the bullish nature of our market, right? So I don't know when the last time that I gave a bearish view of gold here, but I'm going to give one today. Okay. So right now you can see we are beginning to break down some structure here to the downside. Okay, like I said, this is we've been in a very strong bullish march here, and I would say over the last let's say 3 or 4 days here, we're starting to develop maybe some structure to indicate that maybe there is, you know, maybe something to this bearish activity that we've been seeing of late in the gold market, right? So we closed yesterday with a bearish engulfing candle. We opened the day with yet another bearish candle that is developing below our. This is our 9 EMA. Okay. So again, we're starting to see a little bit of structure here that indicates that you know, maybe we are in for maybe a little bit of a sell-off. Okay. Yeah, maybe a little sell-off, or maybe people taking some profits here. I'm not exactly sure, but what I cannot deny is that we are beginning to develop some structure here that would indicate that maybe there is a little bit more to the downside here. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and take a look at the 4-hour and then see what the 4-hour is kind of telling us here. Okay. Similar to the daily, we're kind of zooming in on these daily candles, and you can see, right, we created a little bit of a double top here, right? The little double top pattern here. Okay. And you can see that price is below our 9 EMA, below our VWAP. And this is kind of remnants from some discussion we had on candle range theory. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and remove that. Okay, and that's gonna also given us an indication that maybe there is some further downside possibilities to this market. So again, looking at this right now, right? If we had no history, if we had no history on the gold market, you know, I'm sure everyone would agree that we are in some sort of bearish structure here at the moment, right? We have no history of this market, but since we have the history, right, you can see that historically we've been quite strong, right? Now we are showing a little bit of weakness. If I had to pick a level down below, I think the 4,000 level seems like a reasonable level. Okay, that maybe could potentially generate a little bit of a bounce. So my lazy line indicator. Okay, my lazy line indicator is that I should be focusing my attention right around this 4,000 level on this chart. Okay, so I was actually looking to see if there's an easy way to. No, doesn't look like it. Okay, all right. So in any case, 4,000. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and mark this in a different way. We're going to go ahead and create a little bit of a rectangular box here. But this level right here, I would expect to be supportive. Okay. I don't anticipate that we're going to get through that area without at least a little bit of a bounce. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and take a look at the 30-minute chart here. All right. 30-minute chart again. We're seeing you know, obviously a fair amount of structure here to the downside. Okay, so I think what was it? I got involved in some sort of trade here in the overnight that allowed me to participate to the upside. Okay, I think was somewhere here, maybe. I'm not sure. Um, maybe this move right around here. I know that I participated in a long trade. I'd have to go back to my notes here. Okay. In any case, the idea here, guys, is let's take a look here at the fixed range volume profile. let's see where price is in relation. Looks like it might be a little bit range bound at the moment. So let's locate the start of the session here on Tuesday. Right about there. We're going to drag that across to the close. Okay, there we are. So we are below value. Okay, again, if I'm going to pick a location to maybe consider an opportunity, this area down below, this area here would be offer maybe that location, right? So I'm going to go ahead and mark that area in red. Okay, so again, this is again kind of one of these lazy lion locations that we talk about in the group coaching. All right, you can see that price is below value, right? So this level around 4,100, 4,900 would, or not 4,900, 4,090 would offer us maybe a location where we could potentially see or have a continuation move here to the downside, right? So this area would offer us a logical location, right, for a downside move. Okay. Let's see. We're going to go ahead now and just kind of run through the initial balance ranges across the various markets here and take a look and see what these various ranges provided here. Okay. So this is Asia. Okay. So I think this is the area that I was a part of here. Okay. I did take a bullish trade here. I guess everybody will understand why, right? Got a nice little push outside the range, pull back and another close. And I think I took part of the trade around the 41 20 level, somewhere in that range, all the way up to this range up here. So we made for quite a nice trade here. Okay. All right. In any case, so we see that Asia was able to take the market higher. Taking a look at London, it appears that London went the opposite direction. Okay. Obviously, they didn't catch the memo that Asia was not able to get the memo to kind of continue to drive price higher. We've managed to already exceed the 200% extension to the downside, okay, in the gold, and potentially down to the 400%. Maybe I should start, thinking about changing my my sleep pattern here. Okay. Very nice extension here to the downside, right? Using the initial balance extension, this would have provided a very nice opportunity. Probably not the easiest of opportunities to participate in, right? Using this initial balance, but certainly if we were looking at it, say from the VWAP or 9 EMA, that could have offered us an opportunity for a continuation trade. All right, let's take a look at what's developing in the U.S. session. Okay. So I will. I'm a little bit groggy. Yes. So in any case, yes, I can't be part of all the markets. Correct. All right. So we have a little bit of a developing initial balance here that's taking place in this market. We have reached an area where we would potentially expect some buyers to be present. If we're looking at the ADR here, ADR, let's see, ADR level. Okay, we're probably already exceeded it. Sure enough, we have. Okay, hopefully everybody sees that. I'm going to see if I can make that a little bit more bold here. All right, so we're going to go visibility style. Let's see, we're going to make this a little bit bolder so you guys can see this. Okay, so there's our ADR level, right? You can see that we've already exceeded that ADR level to the downside. So that could be an indication that maybe the downside momentum, at least for on the short term basis, could stall here, right? So we are a little bit extended, all right, below the VWAP, right? So a move back up to VWAP would not be out of the realm of possibility here. We made one attempt, found some more sellers, and now the buyers are trying to see if they can take a stand here around 4,040. Okay, so again, I think headed into the session, I think we are a bit on the bearish side in the gold market. I think headed into the session, we have to look that way. We are what appears to be developing maybe an opportunity here, maybe for an upside trade. But given this structure that we're seeing to the downside, I don't anticipate that this structure is just going to turn over and just let the bulls kind of have, let them move where they would like. So A trade up to VWAP seems like a reasonable trade. Maybe a continuation reversal trade from VWAP all the way down. But it does appear we had Asia take the market up. We had London take the market down. New York could potentially take the market up. Okay, today. All right, let's go ahead and kind of speed up the process here because I have a half hour before I can get through all the markets. So let's start off with a daily chart in the crude oil. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and turn off our ADR here for a moment. Again, what structure have we been in crude oil? Well, the structure continues to be to the downside. Again, we're starting to get some indications that folks are trying to maybe defend some of these areas. 56 seems to be an area of interest for the buyers. We haven't really quite made it above the 9 EMA, but looks like with this candle developing here that we could get above the VWAP. Moving into the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart, I'm actually going to turn on my visible range volume profile and just get to see a sense of where we're at here. So the visible range volume profile is telling me that we're inside some sort of range kind of price action in this market here. Okay, you can see that the market had made a kind of a little bit of a triple bottom here, right around the 56.40 level or 56.30 level. And looks like we are in a kind of bullish leg in this market here. I'm going to turn off initial balance. Okay, so you can see. So we've begun to break some structure here to the upside, right? We broke above this resistance zone here around 57.30. We broke above. We pulled back to the 9 EMA, and off we go. Okay, that's by definition a bullish. Okay. Let's take a look at the 30-minute chart. It seems like we're in some sort of consolidation range here at the moment. We're going to go ahead and open up our fixed range volume profile. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the start of Tuesday into the close of Tuesday here. All right, there we are right there. Okay, so you can see that price is above value, indicating that there's a fair amount of interest here in the crude oil to the upside. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and extend this fixed range line here. So this line here around 57.60 should be supportive. I have a value area line that's generated by the visible range volume profile. I don't know if this is really moving here. This seems like it. Oh, and there it is. Okay. Okay, so we have another range here around 57.60 that again could also be supportive. Yes, gold bearish, crude oil bullish. That when's the last time I've said that, right? All right, let's take a look here at the initial balance range across the various markets. We're going to go ahead and start off with the Asia session here. Okay, so Asia is over here, okay, offering us a very nice move to the upside here during Asia. Okay, London doesn't seem like they were all that convinced, at least it appears from just on the surface. They weren't all that convinced on the move here so far, right? If anything, it's kind of been range bound in London. So a lot of participants in Asia drove price higher. Participants so far in the London are a little bit, I wouldn't say that they're necessarily have embraced any direction at this point. It's kind of barcoding here up at the highs here at 58.33, 58.40. Okay, that's kind of what we're seeing so far in the market. Okay, now if we do manage to close above the London high here of the initial balance high, maybe there is another leg to the upside in this market that could take us maybe as high as 59, right? That's kind of the next area that I see here on the left-hand side that could stall price. Okay, all right. Not today, Aslan. London was not too enamored with crude oil today. All right. So in any case, let's before we move on to the equity markets, which is of interest to everyone here. I'm going to go ahead and put on my my virtual marketing hat here and just kind of encourage people, if you have not already hit the like button and you found that maybe this analysis is supporting your ability to navigate the markets, I'm going to encourage you guys to hit the like button. If you have not made a comment or not a subscriber, go ahead and do that. Smash the notification button. Do whatever you can. Do whatever you can to pay your tax, I guess. Okay. So let's go ahead now and let's move on to the equity markets here. All right. We'll start off with the. Now that I got a couple of likes, I have permission, right? I have permission to continue. All right. Let's go ahead and remove some of our drawings here. Okay. So we continue to hang around at the highs, not necessarily with any sort of conviction though, right? Yeah. Do something. Do something. Hit the notification button, hit the like button, make a comment. As Alejandro said, just do something, right? Do something. All right. So here we are looking at the NASDAQ here, right? We see a little bit of indecision here up at the highs. We got wicks on both sides. We have candle bodies that really are not giving us all that much in the way of conviction, right? It's kind of indicating that maybe there is not a whole lot of aggressive buying or selling going on at the moment in the equities, or in this case, NASDAQ. All right. So let's go ahead and take a look at the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart is giving us the same kind of look and feel. I'm going to go ahead and turn off our initial balance. So again, guys, looking at this is, we're pretty much have been range bound, okay, over the last set of 4-hour candles here, which probably amounts to at least a couple of days worth of range that we've been witnessing and seeing in the NASDAQ here. Now, are we consolidating for another leg higher? Well, according to gold, it seems like that's kind of what we're indicating, right? Or is this right now we've seen a lot of overlap, right? Right now we're seeing that there's a lot of range. Yes, that tariff candle is still haunting our equities. There it is, right? Nobody wants to get above this 25,350 right range, right? We're kind of saying, okay, I need to have a positive set of news coming out of China and US before I'm willing to dip my toe above this 25,350 level. Okay. So yes, the tariff candle continues to haunt us. All right, let's take a look at the 30-minute chart. And again, guys, I'm not really seeing all that much of interest here, right? We're smack in the middle of the value range. If I go ahead and open up the initial balance range for Asia here, it's probably going to tell us the same kind of thing here. But we'll do this. Okay, so here we are. We're going to open this up here and see where the range is. Okay, so we actually got a little bit of an extension of the range, right? So we had a nice, actually quite nice initial balance extension. Okay, so I'm going to turn this off. This is really not telling us a whole lot, all that much. Really nice extension here in the NASDAQ, right? And during Asia, right? We got a push higher, a pull back to the lazy lion level. I already gave it a level here, right? A push up, back to down to the lazy lion level, and off we go, right? All the way to the 200% extension. Once we got to 200% extension, we start nearing that 25,340 level. That seems to be a kind of an area of stickiness, right? We can't get through that level. And London turned around and said, okay, well, I'm not really interested in taking this higher, not unless I get some sort of positive news coming out of Washington and China. Okay, so here we are. London did the opposite. These are kind of like mirrors, guys. Okay, London did the exact same thing, but to the downside, right? Exact same thing. So we got Asia pulled out of initial balance, pulled back and rallied. London pushed out of initial balance, pulled back and fell. Okay, almost a kind of, again, if I had to draw a line here, right, it's kind of like a mirror image. London and Asia here, right? This is like a mirror image. This line here serving as a kind of a mirror image of each other. Now the question now is going to become: is the U.S. going to continue this pattern of range? If so, then we're probably headed higher in this market, right? If we get back inside the initial balance range, we could see a potential rotation back to the highs, right? And continue this consolidation pattern that we've been in the NASDAQ. Okay, so that's something that we can maybe continue to monitor. Okay, so right now I would say at this point I would say that we are in some sort of range. So headed into the market, I would say maybe range to bullish. Okay, range to bullish, just because I am seeing or witnessing that the candle is making an attempt to get above the VWAP here. And if we do get it above the VWAP, above the 90 MA, ultimately I'd like to see it get above this pivot area, right? This pivot level. If it does manage to get above this 25,284, then I don't see any reason why we don't rotate back to the highs here. Okay. So range to bullish is kind of what I'm seeing right now, at least especially with the last three candles here. If I'm looking at it from a very short view here, okay. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the ES markets. I have about 15 minutes here, so let's make the most of it. Looking at the daily. All right, so daily, a little bit different kind of look and feel here. Again, we're having some issue with this tariff candle, but unlike the Nasdaq, right? If I draw a line here, you can see that we're challenging the tariff candle. We are challenging it, right? We're challenging that tariff candle. So look, still indecision, but the indecision is giving me maybe a little bit of indication that is maybe potentially looking to head higher. Okay, maybe a little bit more strength in the ES than the Nasdaq. Taking a look at the 4-hour chart. Okay, 4-hour chart, same kind of range that we've been talking about. Same kind of range that we've been talking about in the Nasdaq is also evident in the ES. Right, we have some range candles here, some 4-hour range candles. We're going to go ahead now and take a look at the 30-minute chart and see kind of where we're at. And if we're looking at it across, you can see that we've been in some sort of range. 67, 65 to the downside, and about 67, what's that? 67, yeah. 67 to the downside, and about 67.90 to the upside. Now, we're going to go ahead and navigate through the markets here, sessions, okay, from an initial balance perspective. We'll start off with the Asia session. Asia was able to rally this higher. London looks like is on the same page, in this case, with the ES. Okay, and they also are looking to maybe potentially take this higher. But we got that same effect that we were talking about with the Nasdaq, right? Asia rallied, pulled back, rallied again. London pulled lower, okay, found some buyers, rallied, found some more buyers, and now we're in kind of a bullish leg. Okay, so now that the question becomes, are we going to continue in this path? We're at a level here that we could find some sellers. But if you were to talk to James Dalton maybe 5 years ago, he would say that once you close back inside the initial balance range, that you could there's an 80% chance that you'll rotate all the way up to the highs. So that's kind of my view. There's a possibility that we rotate to the highs before we do anything in this market. Okay, so similar kind of thing that I've mentioned with the Nasdaq. I will say bullish to range in the ES. Okay, a lot of earnings still, I think, on the horizon. I know that there's people going to be looking at Tesla here at the close. Among others, IBM is another. Okay, so that could cause the market to remain in some sort of range today. So that's, I think, kind of what we have to anticipate as we head into the session here. Okay, we're going to go ahead now and take a look at the last market before we move on and do a little bit of a general review across all the markets. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at the daily chart. Looking at the daily chart, okay, we're going to go ahead and remove some of our drawings. You can see that we're breaking some structure. We're not at least right now, it doesn't appear that we are. We'll take a look at this maybe in the 4-hour candle, but it looks like we've exceeded the tariff candle, right? So that tariff candle that was bogging us down in the Nasdaq, I'm assuming that this is the tariff candle. The same tariff candle, maybe that'll be more visible when we move down charts. But you can see here that we have a much stronger, at least much stronger leg higher. We broke some structure here to the upside in the Dow. So the Dow seems to be the strongest of the three equity markets as we speak. Okay, and the fact that we are breaking daily levels could cause some more momentum to come in to the upside here. Okay. So again, looking at the 4-hour chart, we don't have the same, I'm not seeing the same kind of exposure that we had to this tariff candle here. Maybe this tariff candle was down here or right. But I'm not seeing that same effect. Right now, I'm seeing what appears to be a little bit of a pullback on a market that's looking quite bullish, right? We're staircasing our way higher here. All right, let's take a look at the 30-minute chart. Similar to the equity markets, it does appear that we are in some sort of range. We're going to go ahead and change this initial balance range to Asia. Take a look at what Asia was able to do with this market. All right, so looking at Asia, you can see that Asia took the market higher. Okay, found some sellers and again rotated through the initial balance range. London looks like might have peaked below. Okay, peaked below and found some sellers and got to the 50% extension. And now we seem to be in some sort of range, back inside the initial balance range, but we have not aggressively rotated, at least up until now, back through the initial balance range. But we're kind of flirting with initial balance low here. Okay. So again, similar to, I would say, the other equities, market does appear to be in some sort of range. Looking at the daily and the 4-hour, it seems to be maybe a little bit tad more bullish. Okay, tad more bullish. Given these set of candles here, if I'm going to kind of maybe monitor this, if I'm looking for a momentous move here to the upside, okay, then I can follow this along and see what opportunities present themselves and whether it breaks this channel to the upside. Otherwise, I could just play the channel top side, bottom side until there's that break. Okay. All right. Let's make one final pass across all the various markets here. Again, we continue to show that the market, the gold is in some sort of bearish structure. We're starting to see a little bit of life here at the lows. Okay, so it looks like it did leave with this, assuming that we can get this candle to close the way in order to support this view. This area right here looks like is beginning to develop a little bit of a demand zone, right, in this market, right? Price has not been able to close back inside this area. So I don't know, maybe we found maybe a temporary area of support. We are working our way above the 9 EMA. We are still kind of below VWAP. So until we can get above VWAP, that could also cause us to extend above this initial balance zone. Maybe we're in for a leg back to the highs. I don't know. Right now we are still in some bearish structure. Okay, so looking at the crude oil is showing a little bit of strength here. We have a developing bullish engulfing candle. We have about I don't know, 10 minutes or so away from the close of this candle. So we'll see how that closes. But looks like we're seeing a little bit of bullish price action, at least on the short term, in the crude oil. Moving on to the equities. Okay, we're up at the highs. We're at the lows. Sorry. Looks like we are reacting away from this 25,000. I'm going to call it 220 level. Okay. Looks like we're acting away in some sort of range, right? In some sort of range. If folks are looking at whether we're in range or not, well, they say that if you can contain price with a box, you're in range. Okay, if you can contain price with a rectangular tool, then you're in range. I'm able to encompass the entire price action of NASDAQ over the last few days. The initial balance is from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Okay, so we're in some sort of range now. We might be in the bullish portion of that. Yes, 9 to 10 a.m. Eastern time. Okay, we might be in a bullish leg of that range. Okay, so we'll have to see. Right now we've broken above the 9, or working our way above the EMA, but we still have this. We're still at the kind of at the mercy right now of whoever these sellers are. So unless we can prove to these sellers that we can get the market above, say, 25,290, then I would say that there's still a possibility that we can continue lower. Okay. ES. Okay. same kind of thing. Looks like we are in some sort of range. Almost seems like an exact replica, only different prices here. 67.80, 67.82 seems to be a relatively important area of resistance. We have 67.90 above us. So again, if we are going to remain in this bullish leg over that we've received over the last hour and a half, we need to get above 67.80. Okay. If we get above 67.80, then I would say that there's a retest of 67.90. But then I don't know where we go from there. Maybe we'll just kind of continue to remain in this range. So again, right now I would say ES is kind of range bound to maybe in a bullish leg. Okay. And then the last market we'll take a look at is the Dow. The Dow also is showing the same kind of range, although I would say that this is more typical of the kind of range you receive on a market that wants to continue higher. Okay. We seem to be in some sort of structure here, right, on the left, unlike the other equity markets, that maybe they're looking for an opportunity to drive price higher in this market. Okay. So that's kind of what I have for you guys across the board. Again, if you, as you exit the stage here, if you have not already hit the like button and you've stayed for the entire session, hopefully you've received some value out of this and are kind enough to maybe hit the like button, as well as leave me a comment or two in the portal to indicate that how this analysis is supporting your understanding of the markets. So until the next time, trade well, trade safe, trade like a pro, be a market trader. You're welcome. You're welcome, Simon. You too. Thank you, Faye. De nada, Alejandro.